Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I just want to give a little update on Mr. Man and then our grandest old lady, Miss Silver. So when it comes to Mr. Sully, we have plans to help him maybe with his issues. So my BFF will come over eventually and meet me down at the park to try to see if we can get him a little bit more comfortable with people coming to the house. But before we do that with her, he definitely has to be muzzle trained. So I am looking into getting him a muzzle. And for those people who are going to scream and have a fit about muzzles, it's better that he have one than want him injure somebody, because it's a just in case scenario, because he's just that protective of his house. And muzzles aren't just for, dogs who have issues with their mouths on biting or nipping. It's also, you can have muzzles for, dogs who pick up everything on walks, which it might not be a bad idea for him, because he's still testing me slightly when it comes to leaving things alone on walks. Well, okay, it's just the cat poop. He's picked up like T-bones and like rotting chickens that people are tossing out for the ferals, and he's dropped that stuff when I tell him to drop it or leave it, and yeah, it's just the cat poop. Now he has been trained on grooming muzzles, because I wanted him to be comfortable with those in case they would need to ever use it at the vet office. But yeah, he's never really had an issue wearing one of those. So I'm hoping muzzle training is going to go well. I also need to get him a new collar, one of the buckle collars, because we have the snappy collars right now from Kong. And he pulled a little too hard when he saw a husky through a fence, and it snapped. So he is currently wearing a chain, sometimes the harness, when I can find the harness, because the harness is missing right now. Just as a precaution, because I don't want him to get into trouble. Thankfully, he didn't run off when it snapped. He just kind of was like he did. I don't even think he noticed it happened. So when I find a muzzle that I think is going to work for our situation, I will definitely show you guys and show how I train him with it and stuff. I really want to get like the T-Rex one that I saw years ago, but I can't find it, not even on Amazon. But I thought that would be kind of humorous with the spiky teeth and the blood. But it's really not funny, dogs biting, but you know what I mean. Dark sense of humor on this channel sometimes. I have been trying to like repractice some stuff just to see if this is just the house situation. And I still took him to the drive-thru, and he did perfectly fine with the people at the drive-thru. But when we left the drive-thru, there was a gentleman who rushed up to us real quick to say something because he thought I was talking to him, which I'm not sure how that was possible since I was talking to the cashier. But him whooshing up on us so quick into the bubble, Sully did turn and snap. He did a warning snap. It wasn't like the intensified stuff that we had going on at the house. So he is definitely protective of his bubble. Do I think he's an aggressive dog? No, I just think he's overly protective of his home and his mother, and he has to earn your trust, which is kind of typical anyway for cattle dogs. And I'm totally fine with not correcting his protectiveness like 100%, but I would like to get him at least to the point with my BFF to where, the what if situation, what if I had to go somewhere and somebody had to watch my house? If I can get him at least okay with her, that would be something. But thankfully he still does great at the vet office. Like, there's no issues there. He doesn't attack or go crazy there at them. It's just his house that he has a big issue with, and I can't blame him. I mean, he does get very spoiled here along with the rest of them. But I'm still very proud that he's not he doesn't go into kill mode automatically when we're out in public. Like, he definitely is, you could see he's thinking about which decision to make, and he's usually choosing the correct decision. Okay, now on to Miss Silver. So for starters, I'm sorry I made so many of you cry with her tribute video, but I really wanted to do something special for her. I promised that video a long time ago, and I knew I had to get it done before the inevitable happens. I keep thinking of all these other little things, that, as I'm going down memory lane still, like we never named her. Like, she's the only pet we've ever had in our home where we kept the name. Like, that was the name given to her, and she knew it so well, we didn't change it, and it just seemed to fit her. Or how she used to actually say, Mama, and I love you, and she would go, rah, rah, and my rah, rah. Like, we forgot she did that until we were talking about things the other day. Or her complete obsession with chocolate and coffee. And not that we give our dogs chocolate and coffee, we don't, but like, she used to get so excited going after coffee bags. She never ate any, but she always would dive in. I just, it's probably because she associates it with Mom. Same with the chocolate. Like there was one time we came home and there was a bag of those like Reese pretzel clusters. I don't even know if they make them anymore. But she literally jumped somehow onto the side table. I don't know how somehow, I mean, cow dogs jump. But, you know, ate all that chocolate. She literally ripped open each package individually, ate the whole thing, left me one. She left one in the bag. And when we came home, she actually was sitting next to it like, look, I didn't devour it all. And surprisingly, she didn't get sick. She didn't have it. I don't think she even had diarrhea, but there was all these like little things like that we're remembering of how she was. And which makes it really hard seeing how she is now. You know, in the most part, she's handled her old age, you know, extremely well. But and I know a lot of people say that, you know, she looks amazing and she does great. And you know, those are only the good shots that I show you guys. I don't show where her legs are dragging behind her, sprawled out and things like that, and or how much she struggles sometimes to get up off the floor. But you know, right before the holidays, you know, Silver's had incontinence issues for years now. Like, I mean, I've talked about that in her tribute video about, you know, how much she pees on our area rugs and things like that. And she started to actually leak in her sleep. It was little puddles at first, and she's always kind of dripped as she walked. But then all of a sudden it turned into these huge puddles of urine, and they were soaking, she had soaked her bed and everything like that. So we took her to the doctor to see what they thought. And they decided to put her on incontinence medicine, which that's actually worked. She's been on it for almost 2 weeks now. So we've, you know, quote unquote fixed that for right now. It's just many old lady problems. The biggest issue I'm concerned with right now is her weight loss. And all her weight loss is due to muscle loss. You know, my old vet, before she left, we kind of had a plan for Silver. Basically, if she stopped walking altogether anymore, if we couldn't handle taking care of her, or if the weight loss got too severe, then it would be time. This new vet basically said, like, well, she's probably in a little bit of discomfort because of her arthritis, but she doesn't seem to be in pain. And if she's eating and going to the bathroom okay, you know, you guys should be fine, you know. And yes, she still eats and goes to the bathroom okay, but it's like she's peeing on herself. That's not going to the bathroom okay. And the weight loss, this new vet didn't seem extremely concerned with. I mean, she said it's concerning, but it's just what happens when, you know, with some senior dogs. But she's 34 pounds. Silver's weight range for her frame size, she's supposed to be around like 40 to 45. She's like Clea. She should be in that range. You know, and she had lost like, I think like 5 pounds at first. And then she goes to the vet every 6 months. So, and the next time she lost 2 more pounds. And then this past time she lost another chunk. So that brought her, she was 38 pounds 6 months ago. And now she's, or no, 7 months ago, because we were a little bit delayed. And now she's 34. Gypsy is a 35-pound cattle dog. She is our tiniest one. So if you see the size difference of Clea and Gypsy, that's a significant amount of weight gone. And sometimes you can help, you know, to prevent muscle loss in your dog. You can, you know, change diet. You can add more to their diet, like better proteins, which we've already done. I mean, you guys see what I feed my dogs. they eat better than we do. So we've given her as much good food as possible. I actually give her extra food because in my mind I want to give her, you know, I'm like, oh, it should help, but I knew it wasn't. I could see her weight loss deteriorating. And also keeping up with exercise will help sometimes prevent muscle loss in senior dogs. And that's a huge issue too, because you know, I mentioned in the tribute video she hasn't walked upstairs in a year. It's been about that long since she's gone for a walk. She would go into a complete panic about where she was. She's very focused on, I go to the bathroom here, I go eat, this is my bed, and then I go out to the living room. Like, she's got a very strict routine for herself, because when we were taking her for a walk, she just got so panicked, she would start hyperventilating like she was having a panic attack, and whew, farts, sorry, and she would start shaking, and all I kept thinking is, I'm not having her die on me on a walk from panic. And plus her back legs just wasn't working like they used to. They haven't been for a while, and it's just getting worse and worse. So it's all these things going on with her. So I don't know when or if, like, I don't know when we're saying our goodbyes to her. It's a lot harder at the idea for me to say goodbye to her than I did my boys. I wish she would pass on her own in her sleep. That would be a wonderful thing, but that's not always the case when dogs enter that last stage of life. Even though the vet makes me question, you know, about doing it, the new one, she did tell me I'm not wrong in thinking what I'm thinking, that she's definitely there. In all quality of life tests that we have taken, it's only going to get worse from here kind of thing. Like, she definitely clicks she doesn't come into the living room anymore to sit with us. She doesn't greet me almost at all the past couple of weeks. Like, it's been nothing but sleeping. I have to bring her food more than half the time now. There was one day she did go in the kitchen and get some chicken from me. And, you know, we have little moments of, like, you know, just little blessings here and there of her being her. But she's definitely not, she's not here, even though she's here. You know, I laid down with her a couple nights ago and curled up with her on her bed. And it was almost like holding nothing, because she's all I feel is skin and bones. Like, she is underweight. And that's, and I keep going back and forth between both vets because they have two different attitudes about it. And, cause my old vet, I worked with her, I trusted her. Like, I definitely understand where she was coming from about the weight loss, because if Silver would fall and snap something, like break a bone, like, that's it. And it's like, do I want to put her through something like that? Like, because she's so frail and fragile. Like, I just don't know. I just don't know. And we also have the issue of trying to help her walk through the house now, because I get new area rugs, and as soon as I put them down, she pees on them. And there was one time I caught her in the act of it, and she wouldn't stop. She just totally thought she was outside. Like, you could tell she's like, but mommy, I'm going to the bathroom outside. Like, her whole body language, she just didn't understand what she's doing wrong. And that's definitely not like Silver at all, because I remember when she had bladder stones, she peed tiny little drops in the kitchen, and she freaked out like, oh my God, I don't do this here, you know, like. And we have even tried, you know, lining the area rugs with puppy pads just to try to catch some of it. And I've got, you know, cleaning machines for my rugs and things like that. I've had my rugs professionally cleaned, and once that smell sets in, yeah, it's hard to get out. So it's like I have purchased quite a few small area rugs, even just to try to help her walk through the house, and those do help. But then she pees on it, and then there's the smell. So it's a back and forth thing with it. And even though I'm against puppy pads in general for, you know, potty training, I do absolutely love them for cleaning and for, like, you know, lining her bed or lining the kennel with, you know, just to catch any kind of messes when a dog's ill. But, and you go through less of them than you do paper towels, because you can put one on top of the rug and under it and, like, squishy squish. And yeah, it's disgusting, but it works better and saves money than just paper towels. And actually, Kirkland brand puppy pads are my favorite from Costco. I love those things. They've never fallen apart on me. They're nice and big, and you definitely get more value for your buck kind of thing. And I didn't do any blood work when I took her into the vet this time. Usually I do, just to see how things are. I know the last time we went, her levels on her liver were off. For the first time in her entire life of doing that blood panel, that was the first time her liver was off. I didn't do it this time because I couldn't afford it. She's on 4 medications right now per month to keep her going. And now we've added a 5th one. So as long as she's not peeing herself, and I can keep her clean, I know we're getting there. And I know there's probably some people that say I should put her to sleep now and say my goodbyes, but you know, it's a personal choice of when. And I am also, I'm getting to the point kind of like how I did with my boys. I'm having more days where I feel it's time. Like, you get that feeling like you just know it's time. And then there's other days where I'm like, I can't do this yet. So it's a process. I'm going through my process with my baby girl, but right now it's just a lot of sleeping. And if she's content and seems content with just sleeping and getting breakfast and dinner in bed every day, I mean, I'm okay with her sticking around a little bit longer. But it's definitely getting sadder each day. I've had many breakdowns over trying to decide this. And with how often she doesn't respond like she did. Like, she doesn't seem to understand it's me when I'm trying to help her outside. Like, usually if I would let her sniff my hand, she would be like, okay, it's mom. Now it's a total panic. She will run from me and then end up slamming into the fence, like when I'm trying to help guide her. And then when I put her on a leash to try to help guide her, there's sometimes she'll just spin in a circle, things like, so it's yeah. I've had to carry her down the steps too, on some days, depending on the day, but we will decide when we, you know, decide. I mean, I know there was plenty of people that told me to put Silver to sleep when she went blind, and she was 9 at that time, you know. I never understood that, people telling me that I had to do it, you know, that she wasn't going to live a happy life or a good life being blind. And yeah, and I'm forever grateful that she survived that surgery, like, because I really could have lost her at 12. And the fact that I have got 5 more years extra from doing that surgery for her, I'm truly grateful for that. But I just wanted to let you know she's okay and content, and she doesn't seem to be in excruciating pain. And the rest of the crew definitely acts like they know it's happening. Like, Clea especially checks on Silver a lot, and sits with her. And if Silver does come out in the, you know, collapse, she goes up and lays with her. Like, Clea's a freaking Care Bear. Like, she is so sweet, checking on Silver all the time. And even Gypsy's been checking in on her. But anyway, that is an update on my oldest and my youngest and what is happening right now. Basically, nervous breakdowns are happening or whatever. Just a lot of crying and yeah, and planning, because yeah. But that is it for today's video. As always, thank you guys for watching and for listening, and we will see you in the next one. Oh yeah, click the buttons, click all the buttons, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.